What is up with the San Francisco 49ers? Are they choke artists? Do they not have the ability to win big games? These are the types of things that people love to say about the San Francisco 49ers. Some folks, even among the faithful in the comment section, talk about how Kyle Shanahan will never get it done. If your answer in any of those questions has to do with the quarterback position, or maybe even if it doesn't, I've got great news for you today. In this video, we are talking about another reason to expect more from an already great Brock Purdy, plus updates from training camp and the best thing I heard today. If you're new here, I'm Nate. We are talking the San Francisco 49ers every single day on this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all of the action. The first piece of good news is this. Brock Purdy's teammates said the best things about Purdy that you want to hear in a recent interview, and it speaks to the characteristics that we have all grown to know and love about Brock Purdy, from all the way back to his coaches at Iowa State, to guys like Emmanuel Sanders, who only spent a short period of time in the locker room with him. This is the kind of stuff that you love to hear, and I love to munch on. I'm excited to talk to you about it, break it all down for you. His current teammates now speaking out, sharing a lot of the same information that we just love to hear about Brock Purdy. But first, comment below, what's your favorite game when you think about Brock Purdy playing football as a San Francisco 49er and just killing it? What's the game in your mind that sticks out to you? Is it that bulldozing the Eagles game from last season? Is it the massive comeback against the Lions? For me, that's the one that for whatever reason in my head stands out, because it broke this stigma around Brock Purdy and this offense, this particular system that we play in, that it broke that and it ended that for me. Of course, there's other games like, who doesn't love a beatdown on the Cowboys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to joining you there. Let's get into the news though. The first part of the news, I'm going to talk about some things that Christian McCaffrey said, and I'm also going to talk about some interesting things that Kyle Juszczyk said. Both of them came from the same interview, but are kind of two different topics, although they're similar. The first one coming from how Christian McCaffrey first, then Kyle Juszczyk, talked about what it's like playing with Brock Purdy, starting with his first impressions, Christian McCaffrey's first impressions of Brock Purdy coming under center. Man, I saw a stone cold killer. I think he showed up, and he showed up to play. I think he was confident, he was prepared, he was Brock. And I haven't seen anything different. Love to hear that. That's what's been so cool about his growth. He's one of the best players in the National Football League, and he approaches every day like it's the most important day. That is a winner mentality. That is a Super Bowl winner mentality. That's the way that those guys train. Every meeting, every practice, everything he does, he's extremely critical on himself. Everyone always talks about how he's the last pick in the draft, and I get that, but people forget he's one of the best players in the NFL and was an MVP candidate last year. Where you were drafted means nothing. It's about what you do when you get the opportunity. He sees the day. Juszczyk, kind of tailing on that, said this: Brock in general, he's a serious guy. He understands that there's a lot of weight on his shoulder. He's carrying the weight of this entire organization, this entire city. And like we talked about earlier, he's got all these great players around him that are expecting him to perform. He doesn't take that lightly. That's something I respect about Brock, because he's always dialed in, always ready to work. That is, again, that's the kind of stuff that you want to hear about Brock Purdy. It echoes just so many other guys who've gone before, talking specifically about that. And looks like my daughter's going to join me. No, we're not joining out right now. Stay inside. What Juice also said in that interview was something that I think is really important and kind of curves this storyline that we're talking about right now in a good way. One of the narratives that I hate to hear about us as a team is that, oh, the 49ers can't win the big game because, we lost 2 Super Bowls. Juszczyk told Greg Papa and John Lund. It's just crazy. If you know anything about football, you realize how many big games we did win in order to put ourselves in those positions. And that's something that I agree with Juszczyk that people leave out in the conversation. Yes, fair. Lost the Super Bowl. Not the first time. Understood. Kyle Shanahan's lost it 3 times. I understand the criticism when you say Kyle Shanahan can't get it done. But in big scope, in big picture, add it all together, let's not act like those other games aren't big games too. It takes a lot of big games, and the 12-year NFL veteran has kept receipts. I mean, in 22, we started 3-5 and had to win 12 games in a row. Those were big games. And winning the NFC Championship when you're down 17 at halftime, that was winning a really big game. But Juszczyk was as honest as he was irritated, acknowledging that San Francisco needs to get the Super Bowl win it desperately needs. So I just hate to hear that narrative, but we do know that if we have that chance again in the Super Bowl, we just have to finish the job. Juszczyk is done with the weak takes, and he knows San Francisco has the team to win the big game. Absolutely love it. Love the perspective from Christian McCaffrey. Love the perspective from Kyle Juszczyk, and that's exactly how we should be processing it. The team can win big games. The team has lost some of the biggest games, and that is hard to take for sure. But as the team continues to improve and be great, and this is the best roster in football as far as I'm concerned, the chances, you have to like the odds, right? No, nobody goes in there and gets a guaranteed Super Bowl win. Nobody goes in there and gets it. So you have to play for it, and that's how it goes. We've seen it many times in sports where it takes a while for teams to just finally break over that last hunk of the barrier, but it can happen. Some other things, just some updates from training camp, and then I'll let you go here. Offense dominated early, defense dominating late. That's the real theme that I'm picking up from everyone who went to training camp today, all the different people I've listened to. Some shout outs there to guys like Cam Latu, Jordan Mason, but we do have to talk defensively about Diamador Lenore and Jair Brown. Pick 6, another interception. Defense absolutely dominating the second session. So something to people to keep your eyes on for sure. The young players who are very much having an impact. And then, of course, got to have a couple highlights for you here. Brock Purdy here throwing to Deebo Samuel. Deep ball. Beautifully thrown. Perfect in stride. Absolutely love that. And then this other one here to Christian McCaffrey, who is wide open in space. Little bit of, oh yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Final thing, I told you I'd tell you my favorite thing that I came across today, which is this right here, Diamador Lenore, talking about Brandon Staley, who for a long time we were all like, what is he going to be doing for the 49ers organization? We're now getting a clearer and clearer picture as time goes on, as we see, yesterday, Kyle Shanahan, Brandon Staley, and John Lynch all talking during training camp out there on the field. And so we're just getting a picture for kind of what purpose he is there. Here's a little bit clearer of that picture right here. He's a genius. This is Diamador Lenore talking about Brandon Staley. He is a genius. It's like having Kyle Shanahan on defense. And that is in agreement, Sterling Bennett. Mighty praise for Staley in the short time he's been with the San Francisco 49ers. Love it. Hope that you love it. Hope you're feeling optimistic. I should be back in studio tomorrow. And by studio, I just mean a red background instead of these beautiful trees in the background and the river and my nicer microphone and all that good stuff. But I hope that you have enjoyed the coverage. I hope that you're having a great time following all of the training camp buzz. This is a super exciting time again to be a 49ers fan. What a time to be alive.